Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Keeping Up with the Calligraphers. This is Alex of Signs of Our Lives, and
Cat of Cat Lauren Calligraphy.
we have a special guest today. Her name is Jodi, and actually, okay, I need to admit something out loud. Is it Tellier or Tellier?
God, you got it on the first one. I'm so impressed.
Okay, I was like, well, she's like in Canada. She's
We're
French.
cultured girly.
Yeah.
My little French last name and my super English first name. Yeah, it's Tellier. And most people say Teller. So actually, even your second pronunciation was better than what most people do.
Oh,
So you.
wow. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Honored, blessed, amazing.
You guys are so French. I love it.
Okay, well, amazing. We're so excited to have you here. I know I've been following you. I actually was like, oh my God, it's been like almost 9 years. I think I've been following you,
Wow, that's
which is
amazing.
insane. Like,
Thanks.
I know
I'm
you
sure I've
can.
been probably following both of you the same amount of time. It's actually crazy. Like, I feel like with this 2016 trend that's happening, it's making
Mhm.
me realize that I feel like it's like almost everyone's like 10-year anniversary, and
And
it's so cute. I love it.
so cute.
Yeah.
Incredible. I want you to kind of like share your lore, share what you do now, share how you got here, because speaking of like the 10 years, I know you've been doing it for longer than that, but that's just how long we've known you. So
Yeah. Well, yeah,
tell
I
us,
mean,
tell us.
yes, I will. Okay, my lore. All right. I have a horrible memory, so hopefully I can remember like my own life. We'll see. But yeah, it's been basically 10 years that I've been doing this business. It's been like I think 2016 August was when I like quit my job. So I started and I did calligraphy for the first time in 2015. But yeah, I'll go back even further if you'd like. But yeah, to go back to my lore, I've always been someone who loved to draw and paint, and I always did art classes as a kid, like after school. And I'm very lucky to have parents who were very supportive of me being artsy and, like sign me up for art classes. I started taking like these little, like, every Tuesday painting classes in this cute little art studio it's called Beau Repair Village near where my parents live. And the school is called La Palette Art School, and it's just this really cute little place. I think it's still there. And so I would go every Tuesday after school from when I was 9 until I finished high school. So it was just really lucky to have always been able to like experiment. Like the teacher there would have us mostly do watercolor, but we'd also do, pastels and different kinds of materials, get like charcoal, like all kinds of different things like that. And we would do different subjects. And so I always had that. I studied at college. I did visual arts. Actually, I started in illustration and design, and then I dropped out and switched into visual arts because illustration and design was this like super hardcore, crazy program where you had like a million classes, and I just like couldn't deal with it. That's like the beginning. That's like my origin story of like burning out repeatedly. Like I just
Literally, don't know
yeah,
what
like
that is. What?
it was like I was literally 20 years ago, and I was just like, I can't handle this. So I switched into visual arts. It was much easier, but I ended up, because I switched programs, I was in Cégep for 3 years, and then I was like tired of school, so I took a year off. And I tried to like become an artist. Like I was working at Blockbuster, and
Throwback.
Lol. To give everyone an idea of my age. But yeah, I was working at Blockbuster and like just painting like outside of that. And like I, at the time, I was, I guess, 20 or maybe, yeah, it was 2008. I can't, 2021.
It's okay.
2019. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
Time.
I don't know. And so I just, it was a lot more like social, and like had a bunch of artsy friends, and we would put on art shows together at like pubs. And um like made no money. I'd be like, does anyone want a painting for $10? Like, it was very that. And but it was fun. And just, this is before Instagram. Like, I think I had a MySpace for my art.
This
Yeah.
is officially a millennial only podcast.
Yeah, it was,
You're hitting me with like all the nostalgia. I'm like, "Oh, all the things that make me feel
yes, I
get the
know, I
feels."
know. MySpace, like, oh my god. Anyway, it was, yeah, oh god, I wish
Look at
I
you
wish
now, from $10 paintings to
I
holy
know.
shit,
Yeah, I know.
thriving business owner.
I
Okay,
kind of
wait, so
yeah.
walk us through like how you got from there to sorry, you're still going. Keep
No, no,
going.
no, it's okay, it's okay. It's funny 'cause it's like I literally have forgotten about these things, and then I talk about them, and I'm like, "Oh my god, things have changed." But yeah, so I worked as a makeup artist for a little while because it was not working out, the art selling for $10. So that was just, I was like, okay, I got to do something real. So I did go back to school. I worked as a makeup artist. I dropped out of university after a year because I had really horrible anxiety and I did not realize that I had anxiety at the time. And I was studying painting and drawing, and we would have to do these critiques that, like, you do your art and then you have everyone puts it on the wall and you talk about it. And I couldn't deal with it. Like, it was just way too stressful for me. Which is so sad to think of it now, because now it doesn't bother me at all. Like, now I'm back in school and I do have critiques and I'm just like, this is totally fine. Like, I don't know why I was so freaked out, but like 21-year-old me, like, could not handle it, to the point that I had a drawing class my first year that I actually really loved. I loved the teacher. I loved the class. I learned so much, but I ended up failing the class because I finished my final project. I went to school. I took the metro from my apartment. I got out of the metro and I walked out and I was holding my art project and I was like, I can't do it. Like, I literally can't go to the critique. Like, I just cannot physically do it. So I just got back on the metro and I went home. I know, it's so sad. And I didn't even like email my teacher and say, like, I had an anxiety attack and I can't come. I just, because it's like, it was just so much. This is like 2010. And there was so much less like conversation and awareness around mental health that, like, I literally didn't even know that's what it was. And I didn't feel like I could ask anyone or talk to anyone or reach out to anyone. So it was like, so I just dropped out. I failed that class. And I think I had passed my two of my other classes. So I had like 12 credits and I was like, I'm goodbye. Like, I'm done. So anyway, this is such a long story.
No, we love it.
All that
It's
to say,
important though, because like nobody's
yeah.
linear. Like, and I think that's important. Like, you didn't just like get out of school, go to art school, become a professional artist. Like, I think it's
No, yeah, it's been a
important.
winding road, exactly. So,
Yeah.
so then I was working as a makeup artist for a few years. Then finally I got a job as a graphic designer. And I was like decently fine for a while, but I started to gradually really detest that job. Like, I was just like, I started like, oh, I work at a desk and I have a salary and this is great. And then over time, I don't know what happened. I just was like, oh, actually, I hate this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, I felt like I was like faking it, moving a mouse around like on Illustrator and like, anyway. So I don't know, randomly, like very much like an acquaintance, like a friend of a friend, I was like with at like some kind of like dinner out one night, and she was like, I'm taking a calligraphy class and like I'm looking for someone to come with me because I don't want to go alone. And I was like, I'll do a calligraphy class. Like, I don't even know what that is, but I'll come with you. So I signed up for it and I took this class with Joy Deneen, who is now my good friend and colleague. And it was a copper plate calligraphy class. And it was so cute. It was in the Plateau, which is like the quintessential Montreal neighborhood. If you guys ever come to Montreal, we'll go to the Plateau. It's like the cutest. And so I took that class and then I just like totally fell in love with calligraphy, and it really like restored my like, I don't know, like artistic creative like spark, because I had kind of stopped painting and drawing for a few years. Actually, like, that's kind of a key part. I always forget that there was a period of time where I would really not even pick up a sketchbook or not even paint anything because I was just sort of like, I don't know, not in the best place, not feeling super creative. So I took that class and then it just totally like, I mean, really changed my life in the end, which is so crazy. And that was in like fall 2015. And then I just was like practicing calligraphy and doing calligraphy like crazy into 2016, and started doing it for like friends and weddings and all that stuff gradually. And then, sorry, this is the longest lore story ever. I was looking at the time. I'm going to cut to the chase. Like, I started doing it for work. It sort of picked up, not really enough to have actually quit my job, but like I quit my job anyway because I hated it. And it was just like, I had savings. I was like, I'll be fine. And then slowly over time, I still really enjoyed calligraphy, but I like fell back in love with art. That was around the time that I did take those trips to Italy and France and stuff like that. Finally, because finally could do that in my life. It's always what I wanted to do, is travel more. And yeah, and then so I started falling back in love with art and painting, and like really all as like a tangent from calligraphy. So once I started doing my events and things, like I would be doing calligraphy on site, but I would always naturally end up drawing and adding like a drawing element to it. And so yeah, slowly now I've kind of come full circle and pivoted back into art.
Yeah.
So there's the story, but that's longer than I meant to go on for. But yeah.
That's okay.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say though, I remember, I'm assuming Kat the same, so Kat, correct
Yeah.
me if it's different, but I feel like when we started following you, it was mostly just calligraphy, and you were also
Mhm.
doing events, and I know you're primarily doing weddings, and I
Yeah.
feel like you were always really good about, like, figuring out what wasn't serving you anymore. Like, I remember you, like, making this super long post about even just, like, wedding signage, like, the big mirrors. You're like, "I'm not doing mirrors anymore. This is killing my body." And I remember being like, "Damn, okay. Like, she knows how to set a boundary. Awesome."
Yeah.
So I think, like, that's been great to, like, see that journey
Mhm.
at, like, I don't know, what's, like, your experience of, like, seeing Jodi? Because I feel like that's important to, like, share our perspective too for listeners
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
I
yeah.
don't I wonder when I feel like I started maybe following you more around, like, when you guys launched luxury lettering. I think I
Mhm.
found you because I was following Jo, and then
Yeah.
maybe she was doing her podcast, and I think she had Sil on, which, like, led me to luxury lettering, right?
Mhm.
And then I think that's when I, like, entered your sphere. I
Yeah.
don't even recall when that was. I wanna say that was probably, like, 2019,
Yeah.
19, 2019. When did you make that?
Yes, yeah, we put out luxury lettering in 19, which is so
Okay.
yeah, such a
So then that wouldn't have been when I entered your sphere. So I feel like maybe I missed, like, the wedding, like, the tail end of wedding, and I just came in at, like, the live events piece, but I was
Yeah.
like, "Ah,
Yeah.
they're so intelligent and they're so talented," and then I signed up for, like, so many of your art classes and, like, all the other
You.
things that you guys were doing with Someday Art
Oh,
Co. Club?
thank you.
Club.
Yeah, club.
Club.
Well, yeah, well,
Okay.
my business
You
name
were
used to be
co. Yeah, and then club. So I feel like I signed up. I don't know, I gave you so much of my money, and
I
it
love
truly
you,
was,
thank
like,
you.
not I was like, "They deserve more. I need more things." I tried really hard to be great at art, and I just need so much more practice. I have not put in the, like, 10,000 hours or whatever it is that you're supposed to, like, but I do.
Well,
I
you're
take all
busy,
your
girl.
art courses, and I try really hard.
I'm so proud of you, and there's still lots of time, so don't even stress.
Oh, I
Life
rewatch them all the time.
thank you for saying that. But yeah, art is such like a lifelong journey, and like I think people can pick it up at any time and put it down and then pick it back up. Like there's no timeline for that kind of thing, you know? So that's so nice. I really appreciate both of your support so much. That really means a lot to me. It's so nice to like talk to people who have like, you know, I've known for such a long time and who have seen these different iterations because it's true.
Yeah.
I feel there have been a lot of iterations of things and it's just great to have that feedback. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, that was, like, part of what I think you and I were chatting about, like, DMing about, is
Yeah.
just, like, how you've pivoted from, like, you were primarily doing calligraphy and now you don't. I mean, I'm sure you do calligraphy at some point, but, like, I feel like now you don't do calligraphy at all, and so
Yeah, like, I'll do it I mean, people still hire me sometimes for calligraphy events,
Mhm.
and I like, occasionally a place card gig for, like, a client that I work with all the time or something like that, but yeah, very, very, few and far between these days. Really, I have managed to pivot into pretty much all painting and sketching and stuff, which is really fun. Actually, funny story about doing like live sketching and portraits and stuff. I had wanted to do that for like quite a while. Like I started, I think my first live event I ever did was like 2017, and it was always calligraphy and then engraving and, you know, that kind of thing. And then I had really been starting to feel more like called to doing like painting and drawing and everything. In like around when we launched Luxury Lettering 101, I was like, it was very much calligraphy and lettering focused, but I was starting already on site to like draw and that kind
Right.
of thing more often. And I really wanted to start doing portraits. And so at the beginning of 2020, like January, February, I was like I was filling sketchbooks with portraits and like fashion sketches. And I was like, this is the year I'm going to launch live sketching and live illustration. And then COVID happened and just thwarted my plans. Every event was canceled. And it took so long for events to come back here. Like our lockdowns were so intense and so like anyway, it lasted a really long time here. So I think I actually only ended up doing live sketching and live illustration in 2022. It was like there was like a full 2 years before in between like my intention of like starting that and then finally having the opportunity to do it, which was through Holtz, which is like my biggest, longest running client, I would say. Randomly, it was like for Women's Day. They were like, "Do you ever draw faces?" And I was like, "Yes, I have been dying to draw faces. Please let me." Like, oh,
Draw your face.
yes, finally someone has asked me. Anyway, so that was like such a long time coming, and thank God that happened. But yeah, so then that kind of finally gave me the ability and the momentum to shift and like start showing that side of my art more. But it was such a long journey to get there.
Well, I
Yeah.
love we're patient with it, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and then it
Yeah.
just like manifested on its own with like a long-term client, which is always amazing too. And that like honestly was like a perfect segue because we wanted to talk about like building those client relationships and how you maintain them over such a long period of time because that's something I know I've admired about you.
Yeah.
What are like some other ways that maybe you have some like new relationships or keep these people coming even when
Oh,
you've fully pivoted from calligraphy to portraits? Like what?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, like to just get into like really nitty gritty practical stuff.
Mhm.
And it's like, because again, when I was thinking, when you asked me to come on here and talk about this, I was like, what do I do? I don't know what I do. So I've been reflecting on it. And I think truly part of it is luck, I think. And part of it is remembering that the brands or the clients that are hiring you, there's always the humans behind it. And I do tend to, and I think just over the years, it was not even necessarily intentional, but I've become sort of very friendly with the humans that hire me. So, and I think that's just a personality thing. And like I think I do kind of have anxiety, and I'm sort of an extroverted introvert, and I tend to like overcompensate a little bit for that by being like really friendly. And like I think it's thankfully that's like worked out so that they tend to like me and like want to have me back. Like I think that's just sort of like I don't know, I think just being easy to work with doesn't have to be having no boundaries and like doing whatever they want. Like I still very much assert myself and like what's realistic while also being warm and friendly. And like, yeah, I guess I don't want to be too necessarily like casual with people. Like I still have certain boundaries and things, but I am on like texting and Instagram terms with a lot of my clients. So and I think that just kind of comes with time, like when people have had you back a few times. But it's also a really useful tool. Even though, I don't know, I think maybe some people might feel weird about like following their clients on Instagram or something, but I tend to, like, especially with Holt's, like that's for people in America or other places in the world. It's Holt Renfrew is like our big like luxury department store here. And we have one in Montreal. It's like kind of the last luxury department store. Like we had a lot of stores have closed over the last few years, and they're going strong. And it's called Holt Renfrew Ogilvy because we had this store called Ogilvy in Montreal. It was really this really iconic like heritage brand luxury store that Holt Renfrew ended up buying, and then like as like an homage to it, they called their store Holt Renfrew Ogilvy, and they like renovated it and turned it into this new version of Holt's, like I guess in 2019. It really, they say it like officially opened in 2020, but I was working there when it was like half finished in 2019. And I think I've been working with them since before they moved to that store, which was 2018. So it's like, I can't do math. Is that
That's a long time. That's like 8 years.
7 or 8? Yeah, it'll be 8 years this year, which is crazy. So, and like they have gone through different like initially there was like a little bit of turnover with the roles in the marketing department, and that's like and another reason, like I don't want you to be all like necessarily thinking to follow people and befriend people because you want to know like where their career is going, but like at the same time, if you're following the person who hires you on Instagram and you see that they've changed jobs and you're like, oh no, the person who's hiring me has changed jobs, I need before
Been
they
there.
like reach out and say like, hey, don't forget about me, because that's happened to me a lot. And I think especially in the beauty industry, there can be kind of high turnover with people in
There's a
marketing.
lot of transitions between all the different
Yes.
brands and stuff.
Yeah. So if you're on like friend terms with people, and again, not to be like on friend terms with people just to use them for like the contact information and work and everything, but I think if you can be like aware of those kinds of changes, then it helps you a lot to like retain your clients. Like then that's just like a really nitty gritty particular like
Yeah.
thing, because like it's happened to me plenty of times where I wasn't that close with people and I didn't know when they were leaving, and then they leave, and then I'm like, okay, well now I don't know if they still have my contact information or what, and then I don't end up getting hired again, just purely from like a lack of contact with whoever takes the role, So
No, I
luckily with
think
Holtz,
that's a great point, because I've had the same situation where I'm like, I worked with brands for years, the person left, and
yeah,
you're kind of like, crap, like who do I contact now? Or like
yeah,
they're not on great terms with whoever they left.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're like,
Oh,
great.
yeah, yeah. You never know what the tea is. Yeah, and I mean that came with like, years of work of knowing them, and like I wouldn't have followed people necessarily right away, but once I had like a relationship, then we would like follow each other on Instagram. And now I'm like with Holtz, like we'll obviously send professional emails and that kind of thing, but like when an event comes up, like usually someone from the team will just text me and be like, "Can you just save this date?" or like, "Are you free this day?" or whatever. And like we're kind of on like texting terms in the sense that like we both acknowledge this is not how we're confirming things, but
Right.
we're friendly enough with each other that we can like text and figure out dates and then send a real email with like a real summary and a real invoice or whatever. So I think just being like open to like having real friendships with the people that are hiring you and like really just embracing that, and being curious about them, like genuinely, like I'm bad with names, but I really try to write people's names down as soon as I get to like, even if it's just the people that are, let's say it's a retail event, the people that don't work at the store. It took me a long time to like remember people's names. So now I'm like really trying to like make a commitment when I work somewhere new to like remember them and like get to know them, in a genuine way, because it's like, then you also get a sense for whether you like working at that place or with these people.
Right.
Because another thing that, I mean, and it comes with like the privilege of knowing that work will continue to come in, but I'm not going to want to work at a place that I wasn't like treated well, and they're not going to want to work with me necessarily if we don't have like a relationship, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I think just remembering the human side of things, and fostering like good relationships with your clients and treating them just like people that you would chat with and be friends with and follow. One of the guys who works in marketing at Holtz just read Wuthering Heights, and he posted about it in his stories, and I was like, oh my God, we have to talk. Like we have to have a whole like literary like review of Wuthering Heights together, and it was great. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important. And
Yeah.
like that's, I would say, also how I built my business, and
Yeah.
how Kat, I feel like, is building her business is like through I mean networking's not the term, but like kind of networking and like being connected all the time, like through these people, because you do want to know what's going on in their life. You do want to comment on what's going on, not just about business.
Yeah.
That being said, not to bring it back to business, but like when I know you've like posted about increasing your rates and stuff like that. I know you've tried to get people's pricing across the country and multiple countries, like internationally, and that's kind of been that was a struggle. But like when you have increased your rates, like how do you kind of like still maintain that relationship? Because while you might still have that with the client, at the end of the day, sometimes they just don't have budget. Like I have clients where I walk in like for dinner or something, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, we're so happy to see you do that," but like they literally can't hire me anymore because
Yeah.
they don't have the budget. So
Yeah,
like,
I
what do you
know.
do in
That
those
is so
situations?
sad when that happens. Like it is, yeah, it is really sad. I think for some clients it depends. Like for certain ones that have hired me like over and over and over again for years and years, I'll like ease them into a price increase. So like let's say like the next time that they contact me and I know that I'm raising my rates, like I will tell them straight up like this is my new rate for all my new clients, for you guys, because I love you. I will actually say that because I'm like that unhinged and like that friendly with them. I'll be like, because I love you guys and you're giving me so much work or whatever. Um, I'm gonna keep it like somewhere in between, like not the old rate, not quite the new rate, like, and I'll call it like a preferred client rate, and then I'll keep them at that for like 6 months or so, and then I'll be like, okay, now I've got to raise it up to be like on the same as everyone else, or some of them will be perpetually, $25 an hour behind or something like that. Like I'll do, like I'm not afraid to, especially if I'm raising my rates to a place where I'm like really comfortable with the amount of money, and it's like a much, it's a much needed like increase, but also there's wiggle room to give a little, like I wouldn't call it necessarily giving a discount, but just giving like a little bit of a break to the people that have been more loyal. And I'll always put that on the bill, like,
Smart.
the full rate. Yeah. so that they know that they're getting a little treat, the full rate and then a discount, like on as a line item of like preferred client, like this rate for X amount of time. So it's like a little, just a way of like easing them into it, showing my loyalty to them for their loyalty, just like, I know times are tough and things are, this will be the rate eventually, but not quite yet. So I tend to ease it in. I don't feel the need to like, if when I always say I'm raising my rates for this year, I'm not going to necessarily like announce it to everybody that I wait until when they're ready to hire me. Then it's like, okay, well, this is the new rate. Yeah. And then just across the board, if ever it's new clients, then that's just, I don't say anything. It's like, this is the rate. But yeah, for repeat clients, I will sort of be a little bit more gentle about it. But then it does happen that even if they can't afford the in-between one, then, I just sort of wait until they can, and hopefully they do. I have a few clients like that who like, they won't hire me very often because they can't, it's not in the budget anymore, but like they will maybe once a year instead of, it would have been 3 times a year, and it'll be for like 4 hours instead of 5 or 6. It's sort of, and you just, you can't compromise too much. I like to leave a little bit of room for compromising, especially for people who have hired me for 7, 8 years. I mean, that's like, really, I'd rather have, someone who's going to hire me 10 times a year. Like, you kind of have to look at it as like, how much are they, like how much is it worth giving? Yes, exactly. Like, am I going to raise my rate so much that they can't afford to have me this many times, and then like losing like what it amounts to over the course of a year? It's sort of like, you have to really look at the big picture. Yeah. So it's never easy. Nothing with pricing is ever like easy. And so it's like the hardest and worst thing. And, we're also emotionally attached to it. And I try to remove the emotion, but it's difficult, especially when you really love a client. Like, there are a few that I'm really very attached to.
Sure. But I think it goes back to what you were saying with that, like, Brene Brown code is like, the clarity is kindness. So even if they can't afford you for the same volume that maybe they were doing before, like, you have built such a strong relationship that they're like, okay, yes, we'll make the adjustment on our end because we still want to work with you, which again, may not, that might be a bummer because we're going down from, 5 events a year now to 3 or something like that. But that's like the hallmark of also still knowing that you have a good relationship, is because they're still finding ways to fit you in the budget. And I feel like that's where you can bring in your own unique personality and how you like create your own relationships with other people. It's not a template that someone is going to send you, like how they respond to their clients, or like, it's not going to be this perfect textbook of like, this is how you build a successful client relationship, right? Like, it really is your own little like je ne sais quoi that you like bring to the relationship, and then like your communication thereafter,
Yeah, no, totally. And I think that's the thing, is like, there's no formula, there's no like step-by-step like answer to retaining clients for this long. I think it's really just like finding common ground with them, delivering the kind of work that their clients, they see the reaction in their clients that like people love it, and just, having that high quality work too, which I mean, mine has not always been. I'm sure if I went back to like the first things I did at Holtz, I would be a little like, oh, but at the time, for 2018, it was probably decent, but it's, I think if I could like sum it up, I would just say like, always remembering like the humanity and the human element of where you're being hired, trying to create genuine relationships, because that makes it more fun for you too. Like, love to go, like, one of my favorite clients is David Yerman. Like, I'm sure you guys see when I post about them, I'm always like, my baby angels, like, they're just people just love them. And they treat me so nice. And like, I get there and they've got coffee and chocolate for me. And it's like, I love them so much. And it's just that kind of gig I just look forward to so much, because it's like, I get to see my friends, and it's like, you can actually turn any event into that, with just a little bit of effort, and it makes it just, I don't know, we already have a really fun, great job. We get to create and do art, but like, to add in like a social element, like it's fun. I think if you kind of look at it like that.
We're in the business of connection.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And it's like, not just about the people receiving it, it's about the people that are like on your team when you're there. And it's like, so it's so special to have those kinds of relationships. So I feel like
So, okay, that was super helpful to hear though, how you handle like the pricing switch. Did you have any type of communication with your repeat clients when you kind of made that shift from more calligraphy focused to more like portrait and sketching focus? Like, were they just seeing your portfolio? Good Lord, your portfolio. And they were like, oh yes, like we would love to do that now. Or was there any of your existing clients that you were like, hey, like, let's do this instead? Like, I'm always curious when I see people pivot like that.
Yeah, it was sort of a gradual process, and I was very nervous about it, especially with Holtz, because Holtz would
Yeah.
always hire me to do engraving in the beauty department specifically, and people do go crazy for it, as you know. So I was nervous about that. But I started to really like the reason that I stopped engraving, and not to like crap on engraving, but for me, it was just
Crap on the thing we do the most, Jodi. Go for
sorry.
it.
I just
She's
couldn't.
yucking our yum.
Yeah. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. But for me, just it's kind of like the graphic design job. I just started to hate it. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
I actually hate this. Like just every time I would do an engraving event, I would like dread it. Like I was like, I can't. I don't want to, and it was physically, I found it hard on me physically. My eyes, I was like, I want to wear a mask and goggles and I want to be protected, but I don't want to look not cute. And like, I don't know, everything about it, I was like, ah. So I gradually, and like every time I would be at Holtz, inevitably it would be like, the personal shoppers would come and be like, we have a client who wants to order like 30 Chanel mirrors. And can you do that on top of this? And can you do that? So I was like, there's no way that they're ever going to be okay with me not doing this anymore. I'm going to lose this contract. They're going to go with someone who paints and engraves, and this is not, and like, but at that point, I mean, did the full pivot, I would say, in 2024, late 2023 into 2024, I would say. So I'd already been working with them for like, I can't do math, 5
Like
years.
6 years.
Years. Yeah. Thank you guys.
We'll call it 5 with
Yeah.
COVID.
So I was like, I would just be devastated if I lost them and everything. So I was very nervous, and it took me a long time to like work up the courage to tell them I didn't want to engrave anymore. And so I slowly just started, like, I think every time I was there, I would just focus more. I would talk the clients into painting more so. Like there's the actual in the store clients, and I would take pictures of it and send it to them more so than the engraving. And then
Clients don't even want engraving at
yeah, so
all.
they were painting. They just want me to paint for them.
That's so funny. I literally just did this with a client, but opposite. They wanted me to paint,
Yeah.
and I was like, but engraving is so much
Engraving.
more elevated looking.
Yes. Well, listen, if you can sell it, that's what matters. But
Yeah.
so I was doing that, and then I can't really remember how it unfolded. I think I gave them a heads up. It was like maybe fall 2024. I was like, just so you know, in the new year, or maybe it was for the holidays. I can't remember. But I confessed to them,
Burning
like,
my
I don't.
engraving machine.
Yes, I was like, I'm sorry. I actually fully gave it away because I didn't even want to give myself the option. I was like, I can't even give the option because I'll say yes. So I can't. So I don't know. Eventually, I told them, and they were just like fine with it and continue to hire me. And like I have in the past have been, occasionally unable to do a gig. Like I was supposed to do engraving for a beauty night like the week after Teddy passed away, and I like emailed them and was like, I cannot leave my bed. Like I cannot be out in the world right now. So I referred them to Erin to do the job, Erin Nielsen Letters. So, and she did the gig, and like I think in the past also for like one of those times where they were like 30 Chanel mirrors, I was like, no, Joy. Here's Joy. So I've referred them to both Erin and Joy in the past, and I think now they have their
Erin and Joy.
yeah. So they shout out. So they I think they have 2 engravers who are like ready that they can, when they want engraving, they can go to them. And then I'm just very fortunate that they've kept me on as like always like the painter, and like very given me lots of really consistent work even still. But I was very scared that was not going to be the case. And I think at a certain point, maybe that year, like I wish I could remember exactly what I did, but I do think that I sent like a professional, I sent an email at one point to like my favorite clients. So like my Diptyque, my David Yurman, Holtz, like a few other favorites, just to be like, heads up, I'm really shifting my focus to painting, and I would love to to paint more for you, or to because at Diptyque, I think the first job I actually did for them was painting on boxes, but they hire me for calligraphy, on cards and stuff like that. But like for them, I was like, you've already seen me paint, but I want to paint more. I don't know. So yeah, it was definitely a very like I had a lot of fear and anxiety around it, and then it just was totally fine.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure that's so helpful too, like going back to how you were able to refer things that like you didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Like if that client was like adamant about painting, I was so ready to give it to someone else who would be a way better fit. Cause like I'm I don't have those skills, and I can do it very flat and it will have a certain look, but it wasn't the look that I felt like they wanted.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if it was like if the client is adamant about a certain thing, then like have
Mhm.
people in your back pocket that you can be like, "Here you go. Here's this other
Yeah.
person who can deliver exactly what you need." And the client
Yeah.
remembers that, and also that artist remembers that and then
Mhm.
refers you the things that you're good at, and I feel like it's just this nice, cute
Yeah.
little karmic, energetic vibe.
Exactly. Well, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like I think there's, we all like sometimes it's very easy to fall into like a trap of like feeling very like protective of like your clients and like fear about losing someone or whatever, but it's also like it should never be at the detriment of your own, enjoyment of the job and like you have to be true to yourself and like it just was no longer true to me to be engraving and it's like it doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be me every single time. And it was like it's like a if you love something, let it go. Like, I don't know, like that kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like, and if it's meant to be, they'll come back. Like, such a cheesy, like the most cheesy, horrible expression I could use. But like, I felt like that with Holtz. I was like, if they love me, they'll come back, and they have. So it's like it's fine. And if they hadn't, then I'm sure I would find some other way to replace that. There's always going to be new opportunities, but it's also really great to be able to have a client that loyal, that long term.
Yeah.
And I'm just very lucky that that's worked out.
Yeah. And I feel like it goes back to like the relationship of all
Mhm.
of this. Like the point of doing that is that your relationship is not just transactional. Like you genuinely care because you've built a connection with these clients. And so it is in their best interest and your best interest to refer that out and to refer it to someone that can fulfill the need that is going to like them and their expectation that fits in with that. So it goes back to the whole relationship piece and making sure
Yeah.
that you're still serving them well, even like in a pivot or a
Yeah.
referral.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I know it. And it's like back to the relationship thing and it can and should be really like organic and like if it's not something I would ever force. I've had other clients where
Yeah.
it's been a great event, but like there isn't that like relationship. It doesn't have to continue, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think Alex, you had asked me in like the little prep questions, which thank you for sending me. I could get ready. Something like, is there anything that like a red flag or was it
When a client's not a good fit or it's time to
yeah.
let go.
Yeah, that's like another thing, like to like kind of on the other side of the relationship thing. I think having really trusting your gut instinct and being able to say no. And again, that comes from a place of privilege of like knowing that more work will come and like feeling comfortable. Like we don't always feel like we can say no to things, but like when you are comfortable enough that you can say no to things, I say no to a lot of things when I get a bad feeling. Like I think I'm a more like very intuitive person and I'm not necessarily everyone can sense the red flags. I can sniff out a red flag very easily.
I would have asked if you're a Cancer and you're not. You're a Virgo,
You're
right?
Virgo, but I'm like the least Virgo.
It's
I'm a
so
Pisces
crazy to me.
moon. Yeah, I'm a Pisces moon and I just identify as a Pisces. So,
Mhm. That
but
also
yeah,
makes a
like
lot of sense.
but yeah, I think just like being really unafraid as long as you're in the position to do so to say no if you have a bad feeling is like huge. Because just avoiding the situations from the get go. Because I have had those times too where I have ignored my gut feeling very rarely, but it has happened. And it's like, it always works out exactly as you think it's going to, you know? Yeah.
Anxiety inducing for
Yeah.
sure. Can relate. Yeah. I so okay, you I feel like have gifted us over the years with so many lessons. Like I know through your Instagram stories and our interactions and just like seeing you operate has just been like you're just so professional about things. Like I even though like you always bring the humanity to it and I just feel like you have this just like wisdom about you that I just love. And Kat like has taken your like the luxury lettering,
So many courses.
but I would love if you could share a little bit more. You have something coming up with you and Sylvia, who was also on our pod. Yay, we have the both of you. I feel like this is
Yay.
awesome.
We could come on together another time, maybe. But yeah. Yeah. So we are working on like a second level of luxury lettering 101, tentatively called luxury lettering 201. So
Who is it for? What's
yeah.
to be included? When can we sign up?
Oh, these are all very good questions. In the midst of, well, we know who it's for. It's for like event artists who are already working in events. Basically, like Luxury Lettering 101 was like our as it says, 101 for people who want to get into doing live events, whether it's, well, calligraphy focused, but then, or engraving. I don't have anything in Luxury Lettering 101 about painting or sketching or anything, but I do plan on having that in the 201. So 201 is going to be more for artists who are already working in events, and we want to talk about how to, I guess, sort of elevate or like take things to the next level in a very non-hustle culture-y way, as we do, because we all know that I burn out repeatedly, and I'm like,
Same.
oh, I mean, listen, we don't, and like, I think that it's obviously very common in our industry. And I'm going into this year with the goal of not burning out. And I want that for our prospective students as well. Like, we're going to approach things in a very, like, I don't know, how to build something that's sustainable for you specifically, and like not necessarily subscribing to the idea of success that like is usually sold. And, I think just we want it to be really exploratory, really like non-hierarchical, hierarchical. I'm not sure of the word, but similar to when we did Luxury Lettering Holiday Accelerator, where we did like group calls and people would share experiences, and that I would love for there to be an element of that. We don't have everything like hammered out exactly how it's going to present, but basically it's a way of like introducing the changes in the industry in a really kind of collaborative way. And we want to, like, it's going to be teaching, it's going to be part teaching, and it's going to be part like sharing just experiences. Like, Sil has done so many cool new types of events that she's really excited to share about. Like, I don't know, the industry has just changed so much since 2009 and since Luxury Lettering 101. So it's like, we just want to like reflect that, like the bedazzling of it all, the like, doing the Chinese knot workshops. Like, she has there's so many different opportunities to like expand on doing live events that we want to really touch on, like kind of all of them in their own way. We also want to talk a lot about like multi-artist events, just like working in a more sustainable way. We have such a huge brain dump document with all the things that we want to talk about. We have to organize it. But I think we had our like original Luxury Lettering 101 students in mind, who like we've just seen like do so much amazing work over the last like almost 7 years, and thinking of them and thinking of like how we can encourage them even further, basically. So it's and I don't know when it's going to be exactly. I feel so bad. We posted that little teaser Instagram and then ghosted everyone for a week, but we're gonna get back on there.
I said I was dropping a course literally a year ago. Sorry.
I love it. I'm ready for it. Is it about traveling? Is it about how to travel more? Because I want to learn that.
That was supposed to be in there. I don't know. I also had a very large brain dump, and then there was just like a lot going on. It's hard to like, it's hard to get all the information like down and in like
it's
one spot.
Yeah. But no, I think we're going to be building it out very soon, because it is our quiet time of year. Like, it's the like Q1 is the time. So it will come in the next, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks. Like, so like we're recording this in January. I don't know when it's coming out.
I'm so impressed.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be, well, listen, we do a thing where we force ourselves, and Sil and I do calls like most days. So we're constantly in contact, and it will happen soon. But I can't say exactly when, but very, very soon. Yes.
Incredible. Okay, so we can look forward to it at least in 2026.
Oh, 100%. Like, it'll be like before, if it's not out before March, like come here and I don't know, give me a piece of your
mind. You be careful what you ask for, because if you ask people to harass you, they absolutely would. The amount of times I get DMs and they're like, "Where's your course?" I'm like, it's non-existent. Sorry.
No, but I promise it'll happen. Yeah.
If you need some beta testers, let us know.
Oh, yeah. Yes, please. And you too.
Well, I hate to cut it off, but I do want to be mindful that you do have to pick up your child. So just looking at time.
Oh, I wish I could chat with you guys all day. Fun.
Let's come back for part 2. We'll do like a full Sunday art club crossover.
Yeah, that would be so fun. Okay, great.
Okay, Jodi. We have absolutely loved having you.
Okay.
Is there anything that you would like to end on before we tell people where to find you?
Yes, I would like everyone to watch the new show Heated Rivalry, which I'm proud to say my tax dollars contributed to. So as a Canadian, I'm very proud. And if you haven't watched it yet, please watch it, and please DM me about it. I might not answer you because I'm not good at answering my DM. I will try. Actually, that's something we didn't talk about at all, is how bad I am at answering DMs and emails, but it's also being worked on for 2026. So
yeah. But you have a little note that says like admin is not like my talent. And I loved that. I was like, that's a great way to frame that because it's true. We're artists. Okay. We're artistes.
Yeah. No, I do. I have like my email signature is like, I'm bad at answering. Please feel free to follow up. I'm overstimulated. And then I usually, when I'm really busy, I'll put an auto reply being like, sorry, I'm probably not going to answer you. Yes. Shout out to my clients for tolerating me. Yeah.
No, I love it. That's how much they love you, though. It's a testament to that because in America,
yeah. I know there is such a difference, in the Canadian
following up.
Yeah. Girl.
I know. This is crashing out about all the follow-ups.
I would be too. My gosh. That's for me, that's a red flag. That's one of the reasons I would just be like,
it's a red flag for her too.
Yeah. If you follow up with me within like 24 to 48 hours, I'm like, and we're not.
And we're not a fit.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so all that being said, where can people find you, even if you won't reply?
Well, on Instagram, I'm at jodi.tellier.art. I think my website's joditellier.com.
Okay.
Our somedayartclub.com is where our online courses are and where Luxury Lettering 201 will be imminently, I promise.
Amazing. So we'll link those in the show notes as well, as always. And we're so grateful that you came on to chat with us and also about client relationships. I think it's a really important conversation to start having, and we are very much looking forward to the 201.
Yay. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for having me. This was so much fun. I could literally hang out all day. And I really appreciate it. And thank you for being so patient. I think we've been trying to schedule this for probably a year. So
fun.
Well, great. It happened when it was supposed to happen.
There you go. Exactly. All right.
Well, thank you everyone for keeping up. You can find Alex at Signs of Our Lives and Kat at Kat Lauren Calligraphy with a C and Keeping Up with the Colleagues on Instagram. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yay.